Well, here we are. I'm sure the notification should be going out now. And I'd like to welcome who is here. Adelaja Mokronkeji is the first person today, beating Shegun Fatima to second place. Mashu song. Kike Moronkeji. Damilare. Deti. Mega. Kina. Terry Samuel. Mbambazi. Tiger. Akim Latifu. Abikosh. Ifeoma Shinedu. Teresa. Bosse. Ifweko Peace. Nina Kolawole. Purity Lifestyle. Demidenko Yuri. Niyi Olushola. Noah Folari. I'm welcoming all of you. Faith, Paige Veronica, Esther Kuganja, Babalola Simeon, Susan, Prince Ogunwoye, Cecile, Lola, Toyin Oyeyemi, Maul Christian, and that's of course Pastor Irene, Fumilayo, Didi, Nasim, Mayowa, Abiodun, Estrella. By the way, Mayowa, don't forget to write what I told you to write. Ooh, did I block that guy? Mayowa, please don't forget to write the comment, the test of the story. It's going to help somebody how to share the links. Okay. Please, can we go ahead and share the links? Please go ahead and share the link, please. I would like to call on you to go share the link if you don't mind. All right. Find a way of where your links are, how to see your link, where your links are, so that we could share the links, please. And then we'll be ready to go. I probably blocked one guy by mistake, one Abiodun something. I think his name is Abiodun, and I probably blocked him by mistake, just pressing the wrong button. Now I want to find out how to get him back. Well, I hope you remember where we stopped yesterday. So many people are saying they've shared already. If you have shared, then I guess we can move forward from here. Congratulations, Betty. Is today Betty's birthday? I didn't see that. I missed something. If that's the case, I'm also congratulating you, Betty. I think it should be happy birthday. There are no other things people congratulate others for these days. Just birthday. Well, whatever it is, congratulations, Betty. Well, here we go. So the topic of today is how do I say it? How can I save? Okay, Faith Kenny says it's a birthday too today. Happy birthday, Faith. Blessings. Uh, many great, happy, great years waiting for you. In Jesus' name. So the title for today is, how can I save with so much bills and expenses? That is, how can I save when I have so much bills and expenses to pay? So I'm sure that is another excuse that people give why they cannot save. We think we cannot save because we have so much expenses and so much bills to pay. So there are many of us like that there, and those are the people I want to address today, if you don't mind. So how can we save with so much bills and expenses to pay? Is it real that you'll be able to save money when you have so much bills and expenses? Well, let's try to tackle that problem. Let's try to tackle that problem today. Where are we? Okay. Someone said frugality. Well, that's right. But what do we do? First of all, the first thing I would like you to pay attention to when you have so much, if anybody knows the Abiodun guy that I blocked accidentally, please help me write to him that it was a mistake. I tried my best to find out to get him back, but I couldn't. So maybe I will do that after the message. You might need to watch this after this one is over. So what do we do? Well, you need to, let's start. People are saying maybe discipline and things like that. Yes, but they're not so easy to observe. The first thing you need to pay attention to, if you say you have so much bill, if you have so much bills and expenses to pay, how do you save? First of all, what you want to pay attention to is that bills and expenses want to be your master. Bills, expenses want to be your master. And that is one of the key instruments. That's one of the key tools that Satan is using to enslave people. And people are made in the image of God. As important as people are, we are the crown of creation. We are crowned with glory and honor. But we submit ourselves to serve things of this world, mundane things of this world, elements of this world, only because we don't know and we are not, shrewd enough to actually understand how this world system works. And the way the world system works is that the world system strives and actually enslaves you through bills and expenses. And you know how that happens. When you need to pay your bills every day, the first thing that begins to happen to you is you begin to think. Every time you are going to work and every time you receive your salary, the first thing you begin to think about is, how do I pay my bills? And you are thinking about the bills. And even when you have the money already, you are thinking, okay, about, which was the first bill to pay, what was the first one, what was the second one, what was the third one. You have, so the idea of the thing that bills are doing to you are much more than you paying for them. The things that the danger, the harm that bills are bringing to your life are much more disastrous and dangerous. So what Satan does is that it makes the bills to look like Satan wants you to always think about bills. Satan wants you to always think about your expenses. Satan actually wants you to make your expenses the centrality of your life. Now, as Christians, the centrality of our lives is supposed to be the Lord Jesus Christ. God is supposed to be the center of our lives. He is supposed to be our focus. His will and purpose on the earth is supposed to be the reason why we're alive. He should be the reason why the person we're living for, to do His will, to fulfill His purpose, to glorify Him. God should be that big elephant in our lives. It should be the big elephant in the room of our lives. But the way it is right now is that our needs, our challenges, our problems, our expenses are normally the big elephant in the room of our lives. They take the big space. They take most of our time, thinking time, our worries are all about how to pay our bills. So you have to take this topic much more serious than just paying the bills, just letting the money go. Just letting the money go is the easy part. But the biggest problem with bills is that it occupies your thinking. It occupies your thinking. It occupies your life, and it seeks to make for you to make the bills the very center of your life, the thing that you think about all the time, and they want to take the priority role in your life. And in the real sense of things, you are supposed to make God your priority. And so, how do you deal with that? The way to deal with that is this: when you get your money, when you get your salary, the first decision you must take is that you must make sure that you are not in a hurry to go and pay your bills. This is the direct opposite of what most people think about. But because sometimes we try to be responsible, and because we want to be responsible citizens, and we want to be responsible individuals, and especially when we are Christians, we want to be good Christians. We don't want to have debt. We don't want somebody to accuse us that we are not paying our bills. So, if that desire itself puts us in trouble. That desire to want to be good, which is a good desire on itself, which is legitimate desire, and what we should try to do to be good Christians, to be responsible citizens. But because of that pressure to want to be good Christians, responsible citizens, what do we normally do? We go ahead, and each time we receive our money or we receive our income or salary, we quickly run and begin to pay the debt and begin to pay the mortgage, the credit, everything, because we don't want to spoil our credit history. So, and once we do that, then we discover that we don't really have much money left. But even more important than not having too much money left, what will happen is that you will discover that it is actually, at the end of the day, you are actually serving the bills. You are actually worshiping the bills. You are actually, working for the bills. You are working for bills and expenses. Can you just paint the picture for yourself? You are going to work for 30 days, a whole month, and you finish working. They gave you your pay, and the first thing you are doing is running to go pay the bills. So it means you are actually not working for yourself. It means you are actually not working for your family. It means you think you are working for your family, but that's the illusion. It means you are actually not working for your future, not working for the future of your children. What you are actually working for is the bills. The bills are are the things that are controlling you. The bills are the things that are holding you in bondage. Those bills are holding you captive. It is like you have a rope upon your neck or upon your hands and feet, a chain that ties you and is dragging you, so that you go and work, and then you are spending everything on bills. I would like you to consider that thought, that this thing I've just spoken about. Are you working for bills? Are the bills the director of your life? Are they the Lord of your life? Are they the ones that are really taking control of your priorities? So, because what we do that way is that we are not just working for bills, we make the bills our priorities. We make bills the priority of our lives. without even knowing this, because you want to be a good person, you want to comply, but what that leads you to do is that you are running and you are working for bills. And if you right now, if you are spending 70% or more of your income on paying one obligation, one bill or the other, then you are a total slave. Even if you are paying 50% for bills, that is still too much. If you are paying 50% of your money, of your salary for bills, there is no arguing it. There is no, you cannot argue with the fact that you are a slave. You are a slave right now. You are working for Uncle Sam. You are working for the world system. You are working for the bills. The bills are your master. The bills are your Lord, and God is there. I don't care if you go to church. You might be going to church. You might be crying in church. You might be fasting and praying. You might be reading the Bible. But God is not your Lord, because you are not doing that to God. You are not, getting your money and giving 50% to God or 70% to God. You are giving 70% to even God. You are only giving Him 10%. But 70% you are giving to bills. And they are the ones that control your life. And that is one thing that you want to deal with. So when we are talking about, when you are now saying that because of bills you cannot save, that is like saying, I am so sold out. I am so much in slavery. I am so much, I don't belong to myself anymore. That is like saying that I am so much a slave to bills that I don't have time to think about my future. That's like saying that I work for the bills and I've sold my liberty, I've sold my salary, I've sold my life. So I've given up my right to be the owner of my life to the bills. And because I'm sold out to these bills, right now I cannot even think about my own life. I cannot save for my own life, and I cannot, because when I tell you to save, really, what that is talking about is that think about yourself. So when I say, yesterday I spoke about saving, that the first thing you must learn to do to come to financial freedom is saving. That by saving I mean thinking about yourself. By saving I mean paying yourself. By saving you are actually thinking about your future. By saving you are thinking about the future of your children. By saving you are thinking about your destiny. By saving you are thinking about your old age. So saving is actually an opportunity for you to think about your future and to do something about your future. So it is about you. Saving is when that is the only opportunity you've got to pay yourself. But when you say, I cannot save because I have too many bills or too much bills and expenses. And when you say, how can I save when I have too much expenses and bills? Well, what you are trying to say is that, I don't care for my future anymore. I don't care for my destiny. I don't care for the destiny of my children. I don't care for the destiny of my grandchildren. I don't care for my old age. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care if I spend the rest of my life in prison. I don't care if my kids and my children become homeless or not. So that is what you are actually saying when you say that I have too many bills, I have too much expenses, I cannot save. That means I don't care for my life, I don't care for my tomorrow, I don't care for my destiny. I want to keep on working for the bills. I want to keep on being a slave to my expenses. That means you are trying to say, I am a slave and I'm not going to bother to set myself free. That means you are trying to say, I've sold myself to Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam now owns me totally. I cannot even have time to think about my future anymore. So that is what you are saying each time that you are giving that as an excuse that you cannot save. So how many of you still have an excuse that you cannot save? Do you still have an excuse that you cannot save because of bills? Do you still use your bills as an excuse not to save? Okay, you don't want to use it as an excuse. Now, what do you do? So Alan Paradise is just saying, what do I do now? What do you do now? Okay, let's start. What to do now is number one, you need to take a sheet of paper Sometimes it's even good to write it down with your hand, to take a sheet of paper. Or you need to open your Word document or take your computer and put number one down. Number one is you need to make an inventory of everything you have to pay for on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. So you need to make an inventory of where you are right now. Don't be afraid of telling yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. And if you are in trouble, let it be seen in your inventory. You need to tell yourself the truth where you are. So on one hand, you write how much money you make. So let's say you make $2,000 every month. So I make $2,000 every month. Then on the other hand, you write my expenses. And then, but you must be detailed in the expenses. Don't just say, bills for the house, $1,000. No, we want to hear what are the bills for the house you are talking about. We want to hear what are the names of those bills. So you write electricity, water, whatever, mortgage, rent, car, you write everything concretely. You've got to write everything one by one. What is it that what you are paying for? Get your maybe your bills and your receipts and write down what are those things that you pay for. So make sure they are detailed. And even to the extent that you write, okay, what are the money you spend on yourself? Don't just write, I spend money on myself. What are the things you are spending on yourself? Maybe you are doing pedicure. Write how much goes on that. Maybe you are doing your ear. How much goes on that? You've got to write that as well. Maybe you are spending money on buying stuff. Write that. So you write down all your expenses. Okay. The next point you want to write what are your compulsory expenses out of those bills that you are paying and the expenses. Write another column and write compulsory expenses. That is the expenses without which you cannot do. The expenses that you must make. Then also write another column that says what are the expenses that could be deferred. Expenses that could be deferred maybe to next month or postponed. What are the expenses that could be postponed or deferred, all right, to the future or delayed or something like that? Okay, you need to write that as well. Sometimes we think that I don't need to write anything down. But writing down actually brings clarity. Writing down, you think, I can think. I'll just think now. Yes. This goes for this goes for. When you are writing things down like that, a lot of things begin to come up that you never even could remember if you're just thinking. And sometimes when you are writing, light comes to your mind. You begin to know exactly what to do and how to prevent some of the expenses you are doing. Then after you do that, then leave out, after you have written out everything that pertaining to the expenses, leave out all the expenses and now say, okay, the bills. Take your decision and say, okay, these are the bills, these are my expenses. You have written all of them down, you have noted them, but after you have noted them that way, don't rush to go pay them. Just leave it in paper. Let everything be in paper. That, okay, I see how much I must pay. These are the general expenses that I have. These are the compulsory expenses that I have. This is my income. But I see that you have to just see the picture of it. Then, from the list of your general expenses, you cancel. Like I said, you write also the expenses that could be postponed or deferred. Then you also go back to the original expenses and say which ones of these expenses can be cancelled or can be reduced. So you also you go and cancel those ones, or you write the figure by which they could be reduced. So maybe that one could be reduced by $5. That one could be reduced by $15. That one could be reduced by $1. So write down what how you think those things could be reduced, and which of the expenses and bills that could be altogether cancelled, outrightly cancelled. So once you have done that, go back to your income. Go back to your income. So you are still not paying. You are still not rushing to go and pay anybody. Don't rush to go and pay yet. Go back to your income. What do you do now once you have gotten back to your income? Now, write under your income, or another section. Write this on another section just opposite or near your income, and say, my priority payment of my priority expenses. And under that list of priority expenses, put God as number one. Put God as number one. And then write something opposite that and say, how much is it? That is like 10%. So write 10% as, that is the minimum that must go to God. Then number 2, in your priority expenses, put my calling, purpose and calling. Purpose and calling. Because after God, your purpose and calling in life should be number 2. And you need to begin to save towards that. You need to begin to save towards your purpose and calling. So then determine, and that is part of paying yourself. That's part of paying yourself and paying your future. So, you have to decide, how much do I want to be putting aside for my purpose and calling? Like I told you that I do with my family, that we have tithe. We say 10% is for tithe. Then we have another one we call offering, which is 5%. 5% is for offering. In our own case, we do the offering. Part of the 5% we give offering in the church every Sunday. You give those small offerings, and then we use part of it to pay to just bless people. Okay, you might want to do that. Or maybe your priority offering your priority expenses is maybe you have parents or family members that you support. So you want to write that as well. But that is after your priority, after your calling. So make sure that you put some expenses there for your calling. But it's going to be part of the money you will save. It's going to be part of the money you are going to use for investment. Or it could be part of the money that if you're already involved in your calling, you want to begin to take it and send it to use it for your calling and for your purpose. So after you have written your calling and purpose, and then you have written maybe family expenses, that is your relatives, you support, maybe your kids, your dependents. Then you'd also want to take you want to write your recurrent expenses. How much will you need, not expenses, how much will you need for upkeep? How much will you need for upkeep to keep yourself, to keep your family for the month? So you also want to before that you want to decide, I think that's good. How much money do you need for your upkeep? So don't just mention any amount, but mention the absolute amount that you cannot just do without, that you absolutely need right now. Then you want to put that as well. You want to put that down. Then once you have done that, let's take minimum 10% away from. After that, take 10% away from whatever from your income, calculate 10% and use 10%, take 10% and just start with that. You have to, for your future, that paying yourself. Call it paying myself. Apart from your calling, take 10% of whatever income you made. So if you have made $2,000, take $200 from that and use it and say, this is pay myself. This is all before you go to pay your electricity, the credit card, insurance, and all these things. This, even if you are not doing them, I'm not saying you are taking the money physically to count. I'm saying you are just doing them on paper right now, right? So you are putting $200 as pay yourself. But that is the very minimum. Maybe you will still be able to upgrade it. But you remember what I've always advocated is that you need 30% to pay yourself and to invest in your future. 30%. But before you get to 30%, let's assume that you don't have that money right now because you have too many expenses. So now you go back to your expenses that we wrote, the compulsory expenses, the general expenses, and find out from those expenses that you were having before, where could you cut that 10%? Where is it you could take that 10% from the other expenses you were having? I'm sure you will find what to reduce to be able to get yourself that 10%. Now you got that 10%. Now you are at peace. Make sure you regain your peace after you finish this process. When you get to this, we have not finished the process, but when you get here, you at least have some peace. Now that you have some peace, at least that you are in charge, you must get yourself back in charge of your income and your expenses. When you are running, first of all, to go and pay for the bills and the expenses, then you are no more in charge. You have lost yourself. It is now you are no more the Lord of your life. It's even not God that is the Lord of your life anymore. It is now bills and expenses that are the Lord of your life. That's why you shouldn't rush to pay them. So what you start with is by restoring your authority over your own life, by restoring your power over your own income. You have to restore your own dominion and dominance over the money that you sweated for and that you made with your life. You have exchanged your life you exchanged 1 month of your life to be able to get that salary. And now you have to be the one that is deciding it. Sometimes we think that we are the one that are deciding, but really it is the expenses that we have. It is the bills that we have that are determining what we do with our money, and they are the ones ruling us and pushing us around. But now you want to come back and be the Lord of your life. Now that you are the Lord of your life, now that you are back in charge, now take all those things that you have written, take them and then look at them again, and now go back to the compulsory expenses. Go back to the compulsory expenses. And once you are back to the compulsory expenses, put those compulsory expenses under priority. Prioritize them. Then the very top priorities, the ones that are the highest priority in your priority scale, begin to go and pay from those ones. Just start your payment from those ones. Then the ones that you could be deferred, make sure you defer them. And the more you defer your payments and your expenses, the better for you, because the more you can delay, the more you can make money to remain in your hand, the better, because then you can work with that money. The longer you can work with the money, the longer you maneuver the money, the longer you can make the money to work for you. But when you are rushing and to pay, you are quickly getting money out of your hand, then you cannot, there are little things you can do with it. You know what the bank does? That's what the bank does. When you give them money, you find it difficult to get it back from them. They tell you come tomorrow, and if it is Friday, they will not pay you on Friday, and on Monday they don't pay you. You know why? Because they want to make your money to be with them as long as possible, so that they will go and use your money to do more business and make more profit on you before they pay you back. That's just the way life is. So don't rush. Don't, if you have if you have if you have to pay, if let's say you have Monday to Friday to pay, don't be in a, let's say you have 5 days to pay. Make sure you have that money working for you till the last day. Go and pay it, when you know that yes, you have worked out with the maximum money. And maybe you go and pay the last day or a day before the last. That's what banks do. They don't pay you, until they have made their maximum money from whatever money you give them, even though it's your money, but they are still making maximum money from it. Yes. So, yes, there are some other things that we need to do. So once you made your priority, you go and pay for the priority, and the others, you stretch them out. It's always good to stretch out your payment than to pay them all at once. It's always good to slow down the payment and to stretch out the payment. But if you are not doing anything with the money, then it doesn't make sense you stretching out the payment or you slowing down the payment. But if money is working for you, it's always better to stretch out and to slow down, because then that money is generating more money and it's working for you, and then you are able to pay without pain. But when you are quickly going to give out the money, the first thing you do is got to go and to go and buy something or to go and pay the bills. That is when you never have money. You are always going to be in lack, and you are always going to be suffering. Now, what's the next step we do, especially with those expenses that could be deferred or that could be postponed? Go ahead and what do you do now? Go ahead and start a process of negotiation. Go ahead and start a process of negotiation. How do you do that? So maybe your electricity company will agree that you will be paying, it may slower way or different terms, or your water company or your utilities company or your house rent, whoever that is that you need to, whoever those people are that you could defer the payment. Make sure that you talk to them. Talk to people you owe. Talk to people you need to pay. Talk to them and find out if you could rearrange, just like you talk to banks and you arrange, or rearrange your terms of settlement. The same way you do with your expenses. Don't just do one way movement of just going to pay. No, sit down and talk to them and make some calls, discuss, and explain situations to people, and that way you could gain some some advantages that will help you to keep the money in your hands longer, and you'll be able to do some things, to do more things with your money. Then next thing you want to do is that you want to find out if there is a way for you to increase that 10% that you are paying yourself to 15% by cutting some of the expenses and bills again, or by deferring and slowing them down. Maybe they were some of the people you owe money, or the bills you need to pay. Maybe they will agree that you pay at the end of the year, or at the end of the month, or at the end of the quarter. So find out a way you could increase that 10% you are paying yourself to 15%, and then later on put it as a target for yourself to increase it to 30%. So maybe this month you did 10%. Next month try to reduce it to 15%. Then increase it to 15%. Then increase it to 20% until you get to 30% or even more. Now, what is the next step after you have done this? The next step is stop digging a hole for yourself. When you are already in a hole, you must stop digging. When you are already, sinking, stop struggling, stop digging a hole for yourself. And what that means is that if you are already in a bad place and you are already working for bills and expenses, you want to do everything possible to incur less bills and less expenses. Don't get yourself into obligations. Don't promise, don't give yourself promise. I mean, don't give people promises, or don't promise your children or your family what you cannot afford. Because some of us, we are in debt or we don't have money, but we are still promising our children this and that, or we are still promising our friends that we are going out with them, we are going to do this and that. So stop digging. If you are already in a hole, stop digging. Don't keep on burying yourself. Otherwise, you just find out that you are totally gone. And even though you are working 2-3 jobs, it will still not be enough. So that is what you want to do. Make sure that you by no means incur any more bills and expenses. Find out ways that you could put some constraints around yourself, put some restrictions around yourself, around your desires. For example, if I were you, I would make a list of my possible unexpected, my possible or my possible future expenses. Of, for example, what I would do, where are the angles, where are the quarters from where unexpected expenses could come to my life? Where are the places I should expect? I might expect money, expenses coming in. Okay, that's one. Talking too much on telephone. 2, maybe your internet data. 3, your friends that want you to go for birthday and you need to be bringing gifts to every birthdays and gifts, or ceremonies, or parties and gifts. 4, some people, especially in the culture that I come from, some people want you to buy new clothes each time they invite you to a party. They want you to buy new dress or new bag or new fashion. They want you to buy, just colleagues or companionship kind of thing. So you have to write that. Friends cost you money sometimes. And you have to say, no, henceforth, I'm going to be wearing only what I have. I'm going to wear what I have. I don't care. If you don't want me to wear what I have to your party, I will not go to your party. So that might be another thing you want to cut off. Then somebody is telling me, what about dependence? If you have a lot of dependence, if the dependence you have they are not your old people, like your pensioner, father, mother, who are just you are the only livelihood they have. If they are just brothers and sisters that are young, that you are just blessing here and there, you might want to re-examine that. Like I said, you might want to maybe reduce the amount you are giving to them, or maybe stop some of them altogether. And it's not because you don't like them, it's not because you don't want to be kind, but like I gave this example one day in one of my teachings, that when I went to my village in Idomila, that's the name of my village, I saw that they didn't have a good road, and I always had a burden for that village. So and it was only going to cost $100,000 to do, and then they had some other needs, and so not too much money for me. But I was thinking, okay, I can give this $100,000 now for them to fix the road, but in 5 years or 2-3 years, the road will be spoiled again. Okay, but what about if I use that 5 years or 10 years to put that $100,000 in investment? What about if I go and use that money to build on it, to make it work for me? So, and what I just decided that, okay, even though I really want to help these people, I was really very passionate about helping them. I was very emotional about it, and I still want to do it. But I said, let me just go and use this money first for investment. Let me just go and increase it first. So by the grace of God, so many years have passed. 8 years has passed since the last time I was there, But the next time I go there by the grace of God, I will not just fix that money. I will not just fix that. I don't just have enough money to fix that road. I will not just fix the road. I'll be able to fix the whole village. So that's kind of thing you want to do. The same thing with your family, friends, and your family and relatives. Those ones you could avoid giving money to right now that is not emergency. What you want to do is that you want to rather use that money and put it into business right now, or put it into investment. Make sure you are multiplying it, and not just for yourself, but designate it for that purpose. So you are multiplying that money for that particular purpose, for the purpose of helping your people. So instead of you just helping them with the seed that is in your hand, when you help them with the seed, you are not sowing the seed. The seed gets eaten, and then you have to go and work for another seed. But what about using the seed to sow? Sow it in business, sow it in industry, sow it in enterprise, and get the seed to germinate and to grow. And so once you do, yesterday is asking me, is it okay to do your contribution? I spoke about that yesterday. It means you were not here yesterday night, yesterday. So you go and listen to yesterday night. There are two parts of it from yesterday night's message. So, what was I saying, by the way? Yeah, so, make sure that the money works for you and works for them. Then when you come back in the next 2-3 years, you are already in a better place to help them with bigger amount of money, to help them with, larger amount of money than the little seed you are giving to them. Multiply the seed first and let the seed become fruit. And then you can give them fruit instead of seed. And you can give them harvest, actually, instead of just giving them little thing in their hand. So, those are some of the things you could do to reduce your expenses and your bills, and then, and still be able to save. Someone is asking, will you advise anyone to use huge sum of money on wedding or burial occasions? No, I will not, because the Bible says that we should allow the dead to bury their dead. So it's not one of our burying the dead or burial and funeral arrangements, spending a lot of money on that. It's not one of our priorities, by the way. Jesus said the dead should bury the dead. He's trying to say people who are dead spiritually are those who spend too much time and waste too much energy on burials and on things like that. So we should do minimum kind of investment. It's not even an investment, spending of money on burial and things like that. Well, I have a note here from Mayowa Be Precise. Mayowa Be Precise is writing us some very good advice, and that might be helpful for us. He says, good morning, everyone. In order to receive, and you have that also in your comment section, in order to receive timely notification of Pastor Sunday Adelaja live broadcast session, post, etc., you need to first like his page. So if you are there and you have not liked my page, this is my page, we're on my public page. If you have not liked it, please, once you finish watching today, go like the page. But most importantly, she says it's not enough to like the page. If you like the page, then the notification does not necessarily come to you. You need to like the page, and then you need to change the notification banner. When you like the page, you have notification banner. The notification banner on my page you have to change it from on your page. You have to change the notification banner from default to see first. You have to change the notification banner from default to see first. This will enable regular feed and updates and notification to instantly come to you from me. So anything that you want to, anything that I'm doing, you'll be able to be the first one to receive. So it's changing it from default to see first. See first. Another thing that she is writing about, that Mayowa Be Precise, is your share capacity will be dependent on the device you are watching. So because I'm always telling you to share the button, share, press the share button and share the message, message. So she is also writing about how you could share the message. And so you want to go and read the comment from Mayo Wabi Precise. It might be helpful to all of us. So what am I? We are still talking about how can I save money when I have too many bills? How can I save with so much bills and expenses? So we have spoken about making your not making money not making the bills and expenses your God, not selling out to them, not making them control you. We have already spoken about doing an inventory of where you are. We have already spoken about not digging yourself. If you are already in a hole, stop digging. And we have already spoken about prioritizing. And then we have already spoken about how you make all the list and you reduce your expenses and everything. And we've also spoken about calling to go and discuss, open a conversation with people you need to pay money to. Then the last thing you might need to do is to make a plan. So make a plan of when you will be paying your bills and how you will be paying your bills. Develop a plan. So once you have developed that plan and you say, okay, I am paying my tithe and your plans have to be in accordance to your priority. Your plans have to be in accordance to your priority. Your number one priority should be God. So since God is your number one priority, you want to make sure that, once you are giving instruction to your bank, once you get your salary, most of you, I think you get your salary in your bank. Once you get your salary, give your bank automatic instructions. Like automatically, 10% will automatically go to your church or to wherever you pay your title. So that's number one. Number two, according to the priority list we just made today. So if number two is paying yourself, for example, of your purpose. So what account number do you want that to go to? Maybe you want to open another account number for pay yourself, or you want to open another account number for your purpose. So if any money that you want to invest, let all the money that you want to invest go to another account. So you know that all the money that are coming from that account, they are for investment. So you are going to invest the money that are going to that account. So you don't have the right to touch that account at all. It's money for investment. So you are also being the lookout, and maybe you are using the money for business. You could use the money to trade. So while you are still deferring some of the expenses and the payments that you have to do while you are trading, you have already made enough money to be able to pay for some of the deferred expenses. So why you need a plan is that you could use bank or wherever your financial institution is. They will help you to put priority in your payment. And like I said, the things that you need to pay, the bills and the electricity, even with the compulsory bills, they only have to come after you have paid God, you have paid yourself, you have paid for you have set aside money for your destiny and for your calling, and you have taken care of the need of your family. Only after you have done that, then you now go and begin to spend all the money for the bills and for the expenses and all the things that are pressurizing you. But don't be under pressure so much as not to pay yourself. No matter how strong the payments are, how strong the pressure are, make sure that you just pay them little by little what you need to pay, the compulsory payments, but you make sure that you already pay yourself, you already pay God, you already got your priorities right. So some of those things are the things that I wanted us to talk about today, that it is possible that for you to save even though you have bills and expenses. But it even becomes easier when you put the money you have saved into work for you. So that money that you have saved, let's say you saved $100 or $200, find out what you can do with that $200 to buy something, maybe to resell or to trade, or to make sure that before the end of the month you find a way of increasing that $100. The key is that any little money you have, find a way of increasing it. And like yesterday, Kike wrote a very good testimony of how a UK family, I don't know if you didn't see that commentary yesterday, it will be good to go see it, because a UK family yesterday, not yesterday, they were also having in London, they were having a very big problem with their income and with their expenses. And what they did was that they, went and hired, rented a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, three room apartment, and then they went and sublisted. They took in two tenants into those other rooms, and they went and just managed one room. And by the end of the day, they were receiving more money coming in that was enough to pay all their expenses. So they were no more paying for the house, because the money that these people were paying was enough to pay for what they were supposed to pay for the house. And then it went to the extent that they didn't even need to spend their salary again, because of the subletting. They were having enough money coming that they are having, like, they are receiving 1,000 each, and now the 2 people tenants they are paying that same amount. So they have almost like double salary. They have almost like double salary, and that could be helpful for any one of us as well in the future. Maybe you are living in a house that is too big for you. Why don't you consider subletting it and things like that? So just make sure that you reduce your liabilities and increase your assets. Assets are the things that are adding value to your pocket, adding money to your pocket, and liabilities are the expenses that are removing money from your pocket. So you have to convert them. You have to convert your car into money generating enterprise. So make sure, find a way that you could turn your car into making money for you. Find a way that you could turn your house into making money for you, or find partners that those little savings you are making. Find somebody that you could trust. Put some little money in their hands, and while they are selling and buying or doing some business, and they will be returning some percentages to you, or you can do that yourself. And the idea is that you can save even though you have the bills. And the key to do that is that the bills shouldn't be your master anymore. The bills shouldn't be the centrality of your life. The bills shouldn't be the elephant in the room. The elephant in your room should be God. He's the most important person. He's the Almighty God. And then yourself comes after God. Your calling, your priorities, your family, your future. And then you begin to pay attention to all the bills that you need to pay and everything. Don't be under the servitude of the bills. Don't let those bills push you up and down. All right, that's about it today. I want to hear what you think about this teaching and what your decisions are. You remember, I don't want you to just say thank you, or to just say it was a great speech or great message. That is not necessary. That's not what I want today. I want you to just tell me what you are going to do with this teaching, and what is this teaching doing to you, and how is it going to change your life? How is it going to change your priority? So write to me. Let me see right now your comments. I want to see your comments. What are your conclusions about this teaching? Is it helpful at all? Is it helpful to you at all? Is there any way this teaching is helping you? Is it helping you anyhow? Is it helping you anyhow? Let me know. Let me know. What are you... Okay, someone said I'm learning. Well, yeah, but what are you going to do with what you are learning? The most important thing is not to learn, but to do something. Glory to God. I'm beautiful. Say, thanks, Pastor. I hear thank you, Pastor, all my life, and that doesn't impress me anymore. I want to know what you want to do with the teaching. That's what impresses me. While you are writing your impressions and your decisions, let me let you know that, as you know, I was speaking to someone yesterday, and the person said, reading this book alongside listening to me really helps a lot. So, go and get your book, your copy of Money Will Make You Rich, on, and then, begin to listen to read it as you are listening to me, and compare what you hear from me, and, it could really help you a lot. And then if you want to join my team to come to Nigeria, I have the Nigerian Transformation Team. I want you to write to me. Write to pastor@godembassy.org, pastor@godembassy.org. I'm gathering 2,000 people to go with me to Nigeria to rebuild Nigeria and Africa. And I want to start the biggest revolution the Christian world has ever seen. So if you want to join that team, from next year, we want to move to Nigeria. write to me, please. Or you want to have more information, you can write. Or you should go to my blog, SundayAdelajablog.com, and you could have more information. Okay, let me see what people are writing here. Jacob Wadagle says, praise God, pray for my family. Well, that's not the question I asked. Bill Muna says, very helpful. I see myself becoming a millionaire soon. Yes, it's real. Arlene Paradis said, I'm going to call Hydro, okay, for electricity bills, all right. Busayo says, what is your advice on couples joint account, sir? Joint account, yes, it's possible, and that's if you're a family, that's what you should have, I guess. But you can have joint and still different. But I think the most important thing is for you to have the same policy, to have the same budget policy. If you have the same budget policy, the account can be possible, but it can still be the same. But apart, you might have joint and then separate. You might have both joint and separate. Olukayode Kundayo says, I learned how to handle extended family pressure. I will henceforth be wise in giving. Habu Dori says, I'm a very big spender. I hope to plan well and spend less. That's good. Benson says, yes, this teaching has just opened my eyes and has motivated me to reconsider my options. I haven't been thinking the way you have suggested. Okay, thank God. Ijeoma Agala said, it encourages and reinforces my need to prioritize my finances and structure my budget. Very good. Lanre says, your books are not available in Nigeria. That's not true. Money Will Make You Rich is everywhere in Nigeria. Only the new books are not available yet, but the old ones are there. Oluwatoyin says, I am crediting a bank account for my purpose. All the funds from my purpose go in it. More strength. Thank you. Grace says, my bills are not my master. God first, then me. So from now on, I make priorities. That's good. Cecil says, I will buy a book and start to write everything you are teaching us. Thank you. Faith says, I didn't know that you can stretch some payments. I will be contacting my utility provider on Monday to approve some payments around. That's very good. Adeola Jumi says, very nice talk. Now I would never forget all your advice and I enjoy it very well, sir. Thank you. Pastor Irene says, very helpful, Pastor. I have just received the power of financial discipline, which was one of my greatest weaknesses. I'm grateful for this information. Thank you, Pastor. Thank God. Also, Basse said, today's topic is great because buy new things. Before I buy new things, but before I used to buy new things, but since I started listening to you, I'm changing little by little. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Jonathan Kelly says, your teaching talks to me these days anywhere I am, and I know that I'm going to activate all I'm learning. I promise that in 3 months, I will be able to tell you what I have saved. Brilliant. Yesterday said, Team Transformation Nigeria can also join us on WhatsApp. Please inbox me for more details, okay? Lanre says, where can I get the books in Lagos? Oh, you write to me. I will send you the contact of Bode. Olakwemi Daniel said, this is deep, Pastor. I'm going to orient myself in the aspect of spending. Very good. Gift says, Pastor, I can't stop thanking you because you are making great impact in my life and thousands of people. I will put them into practice many times. Thank you. Kike Morenkeji said, we live in Burnley, northwest of England. It is so cheap compared to London. In fact, some of my friends were laughing at me because Burnley is not as nice as London. The truth is, we are able to save, reduce our expenses, and not worry about going to parties and spending as we would have done in London. My husband and I are going to make an inventory and try and increase our savings to more than 30%. Brilliant, brilliant. Obada Reshegun says, I plan to sit with my wife to take stock of our bills so as to know what exactly we spend and how we can differentiate our seed from our bread. Thank you for the orientation. Thank you. Busayo says, how can someone save and invest when the current income cannot even pay the bills? I just spoke about that, please. Listen to what I've taught today again and again and again until you get it. Dora Oddberry says, thank you for teaching. I went to the bank for direct debit for my savings to be taken once my income comes in. I have not paid the bills yet. I'm taking my time. The money is still there. That's smart. That's smart. The money is still there. I'm tired of being shaken by the bills. I will pay when I'm ready. That's good. Kimberly said, I'm going to increase my weekly saving. Wow, that's good. Prior, I was doing 10%. I will increase contributions. We do the short and see where my money is going. Time to change. Brilliant. Shiaki Seller from India, from Japan says, hello, Pastor. My husband and I live in Japan and we have an extra room, but we only have one bathroom. Well, maybe you build another bathroom there and then fix it. Or some people will agree to use a common bathroom with all of you. Why not? Jacqueline Ojo said, believe in God for my new job, and when it comes, I will treat my money using most of these tips. I will learn to credit a new bank account. Thanks, Pastor. Angela Ono says, I've learned that my bill should not control me, neither should I start running around when I get paid. I've also learned to pay myself too. Start with my last salary. Well, thank you so much, everybody. You know, it's like you are learning and it's like you are changing. The most important thing is that we change. Okay, thank you so much. We'll see you tonight. Bye.